Good morning. It is Friday, 18 January 2013. Here's all the news it's worth talking about in Panama today. Panama has fired their ambassador to the Organization of American States. His name is Guillermo Cortés. He came out and spoke in the OAS about criticizing the Secretary General and the position that the Secretary General took with regards to the situation that's going on in Venezuela. That caused a little bit of a firestorm, and as a result, he was fired. Now, to be clear, I believe that this guy is a Panamanista, and I think he was appointed to the OAS. His cousin is the wife of the Minister of Foreign Ministry, so it's one of those things where I think he's been in the government and he's been one of those guys that's been hanging on because of his relationship and his family relationship. And then when he opened his mouth and blew it up there in the OAS, they just booted him. And not only that, the government just kicked him to the curb and said they issued a statement basically apologizing and saying that guy was just speaking on his own. And then on top of that, today in La Estrella, they came out and said not only was he speaking on his own, we sent him instructions, we sent him written instructions, and we backed it up with a phone call on what to say and how to speak about the situation in Venezuela. And basically, he just blew it off and went on his own anyway. So that's why he's fired. So they're kicking him to the curb and then kicking him some more. So he's gone, he's out, and he basically just blew it. And that's a big story. It's making international headlines because it's an international body, and he kind of like went out on a world stage and stuck his foot in his mouth and then kind of went like this, So anyway, he's done. All right, over in the Panama America, the fair in Boquete is running now. It's every year in Boquete they have this really nice fair for flowers and coffee, and they're hoping that a lot of people will go to visit. It's really worth going to. It's a very nice fair. It's pretty up there. It's summertime, springtime, kind of like this internal spring kind of a thing. So if you're looking for something to do, think about heading up to see the fair in Boquete. Now, they've over to the Critica. They're debating a new law, and this is funny. They're debating a new law in the National Assembly, which they're calling like the anti-turncoat law. They're going to make it basically illegal or harder for someone who was elected under one political party to switch to another political party after the elections are over. Now, the reason why this is so funny is because when Ricardo Martinelli won the elections in 2009, they did not have the majority of the National Assembly. But there were like so many guys that changed from the Panamanista Party and the PRD. They all flopped over to the Cambio Democrático so that they could get money out of the government, that it just became ridiculous. So now what they're doing, now all of these guys, the people who presented this law were a couple of guys who changed from one party to another, all right? So now they're going to say that if you change parties, then you can be thrown out of your position, and then your deputy will step up and take it. And in other words, they're trying to enforce the party structure within the National Assembly, and we'll see how that works out. This is an issue that they play with constantly, but it's just kind of funny watching these guys. I don't know. Okay. Now, from Telemetro, they're analyzing the possibility of doing one of these, changing the directions of the traffic lanes in order to improve the traffic that's coming from the interior towards Panama City. They're looking at doing it from El Valle to San Carlos. And again, this all has to do with the amount of traffic that, like during Carnival weekend and during just on basically every weekend during the summertime when it's really nice weather and everybody wants to go to the beach. Every weekend Panama City empties out, and then on Sunday afternoon everybody's trying to get back. So everybody leaving doesn't really happen all at the same time, but everybody trying to get back always happens at Sunday afternoon between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. So they're already doing this inversion thing from Capira and Quesos Chela down to La Chorrera. So now they're looking at doing another one from El Valle to San Carlos. They're analyzing it. They haven't done it yet. So if you run into something like that, then that's what's going on. Okay, speaking about the fairs like the one in Boquete, there's actually two other ones that are either running now or that's going to be starting up. The one in La Chorrera will start on the 23rd of January and it will run until 3 February. And then there's another one in Guararé, which is running right now. So there's that's something that happens every year. These annual summer fairs. They're just cool things to go to. They have cows and chickens, and it's like your old school kind of, mix of fairs, and they have music, and there's people selling stuff, and there's stuff for the kids to do. It's just kind of a nice, cool outdoor family kind of a thing. Okay, over to the Siglo. The third phase of the Coastal Strip project is 43% done. Yesterday, Ricardo Martinelli went down there and did a tour to take a look at how it's being done. This is going to connect Avenida Balboa, basically wrap around the Casco Viejo and connect into the area of the Avenida de las Poetas. And the idea is so that you can go all the way around the south side of the city and hook right into the Bridge of the Americas without having to get into city traffic. Now, this project, they're spending $782 million to build it. It's created 800 jobs or more, and they just keep building these projects. It's creating work, and it's building infrastructure. It's good to see that with all of the money that's coming into Panama and all of the growth, the economic growth, that Panama is just growing and growing, that they're investing in these infrastructure projects one after the other after the other. Martinelli, love him or hate him, he's built a lot of crap, okay? You can build more crap when you've got more money, but they're building more crap. So you can't argue with success. And then, of course, all of these projects will be done. This one is going to be done by December 2013, like 4 months before the election. So they want to have all the construction done and sweep up all the dirt so that he can point and say, hey, look what I did, and take credit for it in the elections, which every politician does every time around, but they're building a lot of stuff. Okay, now this is the Sena Front, which is basically the border guys. They're police officers. They're not military guys. They fall under the Minister of Public Security, and it's their job to maintain and secure the borders. Now, they've been running around down in the Darien and basically busting drug traffickers. They busted more than 5,000 kilos of coke during 2012, which was a big increase, and they're actively patrolling the jungles in the Darien. Now, the leader, or the director of the National Border Service, his name is Frank Abrigo, he came out and said, no, we're not being militarized. Well, yeah, they are, because their weapons are more full auto assault weapons, and they need to be militarized because of the job they're doing. You can't have a cop walking around in slippers, and you're out there in the jungle chasing around drug traffickers, man. It's going to look and it's going to feel and taste and smell military, but really, who cares? It's not like they're going to attack Costa Rica or some shit. So it's kind of stupid to even talk about how the word militarization. It's just they're equipped to do their job, and that's the end of it. All right. Anyway, that's making headline. There we go. That's it. I'm done. I'm out. Today's Friday, the 18th of January, 2013. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.